Contender Tournament.
Both of these guys are very similar on the tail of the tape, but again, it's that high-level fight and ring experience of Pavel that's going to be the biggest difference in this fight. Again, you have Pavel fighting the biggest names in the sport in a weight class ahead. So again, he's bringing a lot of power into the light heavyweight division.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Contender Tournament semifinal scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, standing on my right and fighting out of the black corner, a WAKO Brazilian champion. His professional record, 42 wins with 6 losses, 33 big wins by knockout. Standing 6 feet, 1/2 inch tall, 1.84 meters, he weighed in at 208 pounds, 94.3 kilos. Fighting tonight out of the fight capital of Curitiba, Brazil, here is Ariel Machado. Here now is his opponent, fighting out of the white corner, a WBKF European and 5-time world champion. He is a veteran of nearly 80 professional bouts with a record of 69 wins with just 10 losses, 25 wins by knockout. At 6 feet 1.5 inches, 1.87 meters, he weighed in at fight time at 206 1/2 pounds, 93.7 kilos. Fighting tonight out of the Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Pavel the Cayman Zhuravlev. And the third man inside the glory ropes, your referee, is Chris Wagner.
Pavel, Ariel. All right, gentlemen, you got your instructions in the dressing room. A nice, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. In case of a knockdown, go to the neutral corner I tell you to go to. Remain until I call you out. Any questions over here? Any questions over here? Fight fair, fight hard.
The referee is Chris Wagner.
Judge. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Fight!
The bell and round 1 scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in this light heavyweight contender tournament under tournament rules. 2 knockdowns in a round, 3 in a fight constitutes an automatic technical knockout. Both of these athletes have competed against former Glory Light heavyweight champion Saulo Cavallari. In fact, Machado replacing Cavallari in this tournament after his compatriot had visa issues. Machado in the black gloves, Zhuravlev in the white gloves. And Zhuravlev busy stalking Machado, wanting to cut off that ring, just misses with that left high kick.
One of the greatest things about Pavel is he's very technical and he's very good at managing distance. So again, he automatically has a built-in defense, so he's very difficult to hit.
Zhuravlev has not lost a fight since 2013 in a rematch with Benjamin Adegbuyi. Adegbuyi winning via knockout in the 3rd round. Of course, Adegbuyi's had 2 chances at Glory heavyweight champion Rico Verhoeven. There was a body kick by Zhuravlev, countered by Machado with an outside low kick.
Machado's doing a good job at attacking on the outside, but he has to make sure he's not a standing target for Zhuravlev to throw some of those big bombs.
Zhuravlev has won 7 fights in a row, 9-1 in his last 10, with 6 of those victories inside the distance. And of course, Machado representing the fighting pedigree of Curitiba, Brazil, and there was a punch-kick combination nicely delivered by Machado. Zhuravlev looking to land that sweeping left hook behind the guard. Under a minute remaining in the 1st round.
Zhuravlev likes to counter a lot, so I mean, I would like to see Machado keep moving, kind of keep hitting and moving. Don't stay as a standing target. That's the main thing for Machado.
Machado started training in the art of 8 limbs, Muay Thai, at the age of 14. Always liked contact sports, and now comes into glory with 33 of his 42 victories via form of knockout. And just avoids that right hand from Zhuravlev as Zhuravlev swings that kick like a baseball bat into Machado's body.
Machado only had 3-week preparation for this fight, as many people didn't want to take the fight against Pavel, but he saw it as a huge opportunity to step in and make a big name for himself.
Names like Michael Dude and Daniel Ilunga turned down the fight against Zhuravlev. Time to learn a little bit more about both of these competitors. The Cayman is a relative of the alligator. Recently retired from the Ukrainian military, and look at the names that he has defeated. A lot of high-level competitors have tasted defeat against Pavel Zhuravlev, and you can see why he comes in with a lot of buzz. Meanwhile, Ariel Machado, who took the fight on short notice, also holds a victory, an amateur victory over a former Glory Light Heavyweight champion. Right now, the interim Light Heavyweight champion is Zach Wikasa, as the current Glory Light Heavyweight kingpin, Artem Vaitov, is on the sidelines with an injury.
Fight!
The bell and round number 2, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. The first of our 2 semifinals in the 4-man, one-night Glory Light Heavyweight Contender Tournament. Good counter left hook by Zhuravlev.
Zhuravlev is controlling the center of the ring. He wants to keep Machado against the ropes.
Machado attacking the body with a kick, follows up with a right knee to the ribcage.
It's a very good strategy for Machado to keep his kicks and knees on the outside, but by constantly moving, it's hard to set your feet to throw some power.
Machado continues to attack the lead leg of Pavel Zhuravlev, goes to the body with that snapping right kick.
Zhuravlev keeps coming forward and controlling the ring, but he needs to start throwing a little bit more. He could be, Machado could be stealing the fight by kicking on the outside and mixing it up.
Total kicks, big edge for Machado, and look at the connect percentage, 15 of 17.
He needs to keep up with those low kicks. He's been very successful landing them with a nice shin kick.
Zhuravlev with an edge in the punching department. Again, under Glory rules, amount of knockdowns, first in the scoring criteria, then followed by damage. As we near the midpoint of the second round and the fight.
Machado's doing he's fighting very smart and technical. By continually moving, it's hard for Zhuravlev to kind of set his feet and kind of throw his big counter punches.
Machado has won a number of tournaments in his native Brazil. His family very supportive, especially his dad. Meanwhile, Zhuravlev, who, as we mentioned, former member of the Ukraine military, looking to make a huge splash here in this tournament. Under a minute left in the second round, and Zhuravlev continues to stalk Machado, but it's Machado, for the most part, initiating the attack, although Zhuravlev tagged him with a jab.
He's stalking and he keeps coming forward, but in my opinion, he's not throwing enough, where Machado keeps moving around and landing those kicks, and you see the redness of the ribs of Zhuravlev starting to build up.
Machado's last fight was in April in Brazil, picked up a hard-fought decision against a much bigger fighter in Macon Silva.
Zhuravlev found that left hook, so he should start using it and doubling and tripling up like he usually does.
Zhuravlev has an extensive history in one-night tournaments, winning the 2012 Super Combat World Grand Prix, as he defeated both Benjamin Adekbouy and Ishmael Lont in the same night.
So Machado's doing a great job at keeping distance to avoid the punches of Zhuravlev, and in the meantime, he keeps throwing beautiful kicks on the outside. He kicks and moves, and you can see the redness starting to develop on the ribs of Zhuravlev. He needs to keep active with these kicks, keep moving, and again, it's shutting down the powerful punches of Zhuravlev.
Да, мы выигрываем, но, блядь, надо работать, Маш. Сократи и бей, потому что, блядь, он бросает. Muito bom na estratégia, certinho. Não fez segredo, o cara não conseguiu encaixar dois. Bora lá. Touch gloves.
Goal. Glory girl Alyssa telling us that it's third and final round.
Fight!
Zhuravlev with boxing experience, and we've seen him content throwing those punches, but meanwhile Machado taking the fight on short notice against a heavily hyped fighter, not being swallowed up in the magnitude of the moment, as he's doing quite well against Zhuravlev up to this point.
He's doing really well. He keeps moving. He's not letting Zhuravlev get his punches on. And again, keeps landing those kicks, and those kicks are building up.
Zhuravlev loading up with that right hand, but missing. Again, the first of our two semifinal fights coming up. It will be the next matchup in this light heavyweight tournament, as the winner moves one step closer to a title shot at light heavyweight, as Warren the Destroyer Thompson filling in for Manny Mancha, who was way overweight. He'll take on Zinedine Hammerlane coming up in our next semifinal matchup.
Zhuravlev needs to be a little bit more active with his punches. He keeps going forward, but he's not doing enough. Again, we can have a big upset here unless he starts putting some... He needs to throw more than single punches. In my opinion, this could easily be one round apiece. So
I think Ariel Machado was listening to Public Enemy and Don't Believe the Hype before this fight, because he's taking it here to Zhuravlev, and meanwhile Zhuravlev coming forward, but again, just single shooting, not throwing many strikes.
And he's eating a kick or two in the process.
Delivered a body kick right there, but it's Machado lands a left kick to the body. Counter shot by Machado. Under a minute left, nice liver punch there by Zhuravlev. Under a minute left though.
That left look to the liver's landing, but he needs to follow right up to the head and maybe throw a low kick after.
He's marking up that part of Machado's body. Inside low kick by Zhuravlev, coming up on the final 30 seconds. It was Zhuravlev who came in with all the headlines, but Ariel Machado wanting to spoil his glory coming out party. Machado replacing his compatriot Saulo Cavallari on short notice.
Even speaking to Pavel and his team in the pre-fight interviews, he already talked about wanting to win the light heavyweight championship as well as the heavyweight eventually.
10 seconds.
It will come down to the three judges seated at ringside to determine a winner in our first semifinal matchup. And the decision is straight ahead. Later tonight, there, on cue, Don't Believe the Hype, here we are. The DJ must be listening. So you have the unofficial scorecard. Emphasis on the word unofficial.
Unofficial.
How do you have it after the 3 rounds of action?
Well, in my opinion, although Zhuravlev was the more aggressive fighter coming forward, Machado was landing more and was being more efficient with his strikes, so I have to give this fight to Ariel Machado.
And that would be considered an upset to begin things here at Glory 32 in this light heavyweight contender tournament. So let's take a look at some of the action that transpired in this our first of two semifinal fights in the Contender Tournament.
Well, again, the story was Pavel coming forward and stalking Machado, getting him against the rope, but he was only throwing single shots. He was successful going to the liver, but Machado did a great job at keeping distance, throwing kicks on the outside, and in my opinion, stole the fight. Looking at the total strikes, where you can see the biggest difference here is the kicks of Machado. He kept landing more, he kept mixing up low kicks and body kicks, and the damage started building up on Zhuravlev, where you saw the ribs starting to get really bruised, and I think that was the biggest difference in that fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the totals. Scoring this bout, 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27, a unanimous decision. All for your winner, now advancing to the tournament final, Ariel Machado!
Ariel Machado didn't believe the hype, and he delivers an upset in the first semifinal, defeating Pavel Zhuravlev via unanimous decision.